Please stand for the arrival of the official party. Kindly remain standing for the procession of the graduates.
Live on in time forever. Those dreams you want with all your heart. Now do whatever it takes. Follow through with the promise I made. Put it all on the line. What I hope for at last would be mine. If I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. From that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. Know that I've tried my very best and put my spirit to the test. If I could reach, some days are meant to be remembered. Those days we rise above the stars. So I'll go the distance this time, seeing more the higher I climb. That the more I believe, all the more that this dream will be mine. If I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. From that one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. Know that I've tried my very best, put my spirit to the test. If I could reach higher, just for one moment touch the sky. That one moment in my life, I'm gonna be stronger. I'm gonna be so much stronger, yes I am. I put my spirit to the test. If I could reach so much
We will now have the national anthem of Barbados.
higher.
Please be seated. Retired Senior Tax Inspector of the Inland Revenue Department, President of the Diocese of Barbados Mothers Union, and guest speaker for this morning's event, Mrs. Joyce Seeley, social worker with the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, and presenter of prizes to our graduating class, Ms. Davian Phillips, Principal of St. Philip's Primary, Mrs. Pameletta Bamji, Education Officer from the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training with responsibility for St. Philip's Primary, Mr. Samuel Maynard, Priest in charge of St. Philip Parish Church, the Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill, Old Scholar and Patron of St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Selwin Holder, President of the Barbados Association of Southern California and Patron of St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Gregory Chase, Principals, past and present, members of the teaching and ancillary staff of St. Philip's Primary School, students of the graduating class 2024, parents, guardians, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful good morning. A wonderful good morning. Thank you. I am Sherry Ann Holder Hope, your Master of Ceremonies for this morning's proceedings. I now invite Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill to invoke God's blessings on this year's graduation ceremony with the opening prayer. Canon.
Let us, wherever we are, just bow our heads in reverence to Almighty God. As you recognize His presence with us in this ceremony, of course, we want to give Him thanks and praise for the blessing of this new day and the blessing of life and all that He has done for us thus far. We thank Him for the gifts of the children and the tasks which He has given them to do and the success that they would have achieved in doing them. Designers of our own destiny, recognizing that our destiny is bound up with that given to us by Almighty God. We give Him praise, we give Him thanks, we give Him honor, and praise His holy name. O God, you have called us to journey with you in this life. We are called to go further with you each day, in each situation, in each experience. For us, O God, life becomes a journey filled with ups and downs, times that are easy and times that are hard, moments where strength abounds and when weakness surrounds. Despite the storms that rise and fall on our journey, O God, we recognize that you are constant, that you are ever with us, that your love never fails, your hope endures. Your hand always picks us up and lead us to where you will us to be. Your presence, O God, is continuous, despite how we feel or what we see before us and what we know that you are, and that you are with us, especially this morning. You have said to us in the book of the prophet Isaiah, those that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings of eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And Heavenly Father, we come before you this morning and place this ceremony, this graduation ceremony of 2024 in your hands. Place the school in your hands, the principal and staff, the benefactors, the students, the parents, all who benefit and work and experience what you have done and continue to do through this school. We place it in your hands and ask you that as we continue the journey, even at this moment, your presence may be filled and felt. And so, Heavenly Father, in whom we live and move and have our being, we offer you our thanks and praise for preserving us from the beginning of our lives to this day. And especially for having delivered us from the dangers of the past night. To this new day where we continue to experience your glory all around us. Blessed are you, O Lord, our God. By your grace we are yet alive. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for the task that you have given to us at this time that demands our very, very best efforts. For those who have worked already thus far to make this graduation ceremony what it is thus far. For leading us to accomplishments that satisfy and delights us. We thank you also for the disappointments and the failures that have led us to acknowledge our dependence on you and each other. Accept our thanks for all schools, colleges, universities, all institutions of learning, and especially this school, the St. Philip Primary School. For those involved in the work, in the places of education and administration, the principals, past and present, the teaching staff, past and present, parents and students, and especially the graduation class this morning. For all who have contributed to the success, we thank you. And as we go forward in this journey, in this ceremony, we ask you to guide us in what we say, what we do, in our thoughts. That all that we do here in this ceremony will continue to bring honor and glory to your name. And so go before us in all our doings, and further us with your continual help, that in all our works begun, continued, and ended in you may glorify your holy name. And finally, by your great mercy, we may attain everlasting life through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Join with me as we say that prayer which our Lord and Savior Jesus has asked us to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us today our daily bread. Forgive us our sins, as we forgive those who sin against us. Save us from the time of trial, and deliver us from evil. For the kingdom, the power, and the glory are yours, now and forever. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill, for invoking God's blessings on the proceedings. Please welcome to the stage Miss Shazara Yearwood to formally welcome you on behalf of the principal, staff, and graduating class of 2024. Shazara.
Mistress of Ceremonies, Mrs. Sharianne Holderho, retired Senior Tax Inspector of the Inland Revenue Department, President of the Diocese of Barbados Mothers Union, and guest speaker for this morning's event, Mrs. Joy Seeley, social worker with the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, and the presenter of prizes to our graduating class, Ms. Davian Phillips, Principal of the St. Philip's Primary School, Ms. Pameletta Bamji, Education Officer from the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training with responsibility for St. Philip's Primary, Mr. Samuel Maynard. Priest in charge of St. Philip Parish Church, the Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill, old scholar and patron of St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Selwin Holder, President of the Barbados Association of Southern California and patron of St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Gregory Chase, principals past and present, members of the teaching and auxiliary staff of St. Philip's Primary School, students of the graduating class 2024, parents, guardians, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today marks the culmination of our primary school journey and our expected foray into secondary education. As the designers of our destiny, throughout our time here at St. Philip's Primary, our potential was discovered and honed. We gained knowledge that allowed us to reach this stage in our academic lives, but we also learned to dream, create, and shape our future through our imagination and determination. As we celebrate our achievements today, here's an acrostic for us, the graduates, to take through our lives and on to our next journey. May we always D. Dream big dreams. E. Each day strive. S. Set our goals. I. Imagine and thrive. G. Grow and learn. N. Never give up. E. Explore new things. R. Reach for the top. S. Shape our destiny. O. Opportunities are near, and our F. Futures are bright. O. Our paths are clear. U. Under the clear blue skies, may we be. R. Ready to embrace our D. Destiny anew. E. Each of us a designer. S. Seeking new heights. T. Trusting in the journey. I. Inspired by every test. N. Never giving up, though it may seem hard. Y. You and I are designers of our destiny. Congratulations to my fellow graduates. We did it. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, it is with great pleasure that I, Shazara Yearwood, welcome you to the 2024 graduation ceremony of the St. Philip's Primary School.
Thank you very much, Shazara. Next, I invite Ms. Rashay Aline to the stage for the Bible reading. Rashay?
Good morning. The Bible readings will be done using the Amplified Bible Classic Edition version, and the readings will be taken from various books in the Bible. The first reading comes from Psalms 37, verse 23, and it reads, "The steps of a good man are directed and established by the Lord, when he delights in his way, and he busies himself with his every step." The second reading comes from Proverbs chapter 20, verse 24, and it reads, "Man's steps are ordered by the Lord. How then can a man understand his way?" And the final verse comes from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. And the final verse comes from Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11, which says, "For I know the thoughts and plans that I have for you, says the Lord, thoughts and plans for welfare and peace, and not for evil, to give you hope in your final outcome. Here ends the Bible reading.
Thank you very much, Rashay. I now invite our esteemed principal, Mrs. Pameletta Bamji, to present her report on the activities and achievements of the St. Philip's Primary School for the 2023 to 2024 academic school year. Mrs. Bamji.
Master of Ceremonies, Mrs. Sheridan Holderhope, retired Senior Tax Inspector of the Inland Revenue Department, President of the Diocese of the Barbados Mothers Union, and guest speaker for this morning's event, Mrs. Joyce Seeley. Social worker with the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, and presenter of prizes to our graduating class, Ms. Davian Phillips. Education Officer from the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, with responsibility for St. Philip's Primary, Mr. Samuel Maynard. Priest in charge of St. Philip Parish Church, the Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill. Old Scholar and Patron of St. Philip's Primary, Mr. Selwin Holder. President of the Barbados Association of Southern California, and Patron of St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Gregory Chase. Principals past and present, members of the teaching and ancillary staff of St. Philip's Primary School, students of the graduating class of 2024, parents, guardians, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you so much. It gives me immense pleasure, and I can tell you that it is indeed an honor to convey to you at this most auspicious occasion how we went about putting our students on the road to creating their destiny. To do this effectively, our theme for today's event was specially selected, and it is Designers of Our Destiny. But what does the word destiny mean? When we use the word destiny, we are thinking of what will happen to us sometime in the future. It can be 1 year from now, 6 years from now, or even next term. When we talk about designing, we are referring to actions we take in creating our future. How can we design our destiny? That is the really important question that faces us today. I am going to reveal to you how it was accomplished in this presentation. Not only will I tell you how, but I will also discuss what outcomes you should want to achieve. This is paramount if we want to design a destiny that is worthwhile, successful, and the envy of our friends and classmates. Deb Sofield, a keynote speaker, advises us that your destiny is determined by your decisions and your actions. The decisions you made years ago or make today or tomorrow will be the future you are creating for yourself. He stresses that if you are smart, you would want to create a destiny that your entire family and you will be proud of. Ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that during this school year, we have been engaged in the type of decisions that would ensure that our children would have a great destiny. I'm going to start first by looking at our staff changes throughout the year. During the school year 2023 to 2024, there were staff changes to ensure that students were the recipients of the educational plans outlined by the Ministry of Education. The ministry recognized that much assistance was needed in the classroom as well as in the areas of before and after school care. So they created the position of school assistant. Ms. Davia Lord was selected to work in this position on a probationary basis during the first term. Ms. Lord was assigned to the reception class where she assisted the class teacher, Ms. Alicia Brown. However, at the beginning of the second term, Ms. Lord was replaced by new school assistant, Ms. Katrina Burke, who just fit right into that reception class. Teacher, Ms. Ray Austin, assumed duty in September, and she was assigned to the nursery. This was an exciting term for her and the little ones who were new to the school. However, during the second term of the school, we welcome Ms. Carol Ann Gill, who returned to her teaching duties in a fresh environment after 13 long weeks of rest. Mrs. Gill fit nicely in Class 3, a year group with which she was very familiar. Class 2 teacher, Mrs. Janelle Allen Ward, spent one term with us before transferring to George Lamin Primary School at the beginning of the second term. And during the third term, the school welcomed Ms. Rena Pollard as physical education teacher, replacing Mr. Jason Bino, who was granted a term's leave. Ms. Austin handled very well the science and physical education areas to which she was assigned. There were some staff changes in the school meals department as well. Long-serving school meal server, Ms. Gwyneth Batson, was ill for some time and was unable to work, and so she finally left that department. Ms. Batson was replaced by cheerful Charmaine McConney, who the children fell in love with. Ms. McConney was certainly a welcome addition, as she ably assisted the athletes in their sporting events. At the end of the second term, our much-loved server, Ms. Stephanie Trotman, was transferred over to Olga Miller Nursery School, and Ms. Lolita Sandiford, the server there, was moved to St. Philip's Primary. We all welcome Ms. Sandiford, who just fit right in. Professional development. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Education led the charge and had as their goal to vacate the trappings of our colonial past and become designers of our destiny. This movement was initiated by inviting principals, teachers, and other stakeholders to meetings where they shared the vision for a new day. Some of the plans for the transformation of the educational system included abolition of the Barbados Secondary School examination. In addition, they proposed an education system that will be built on a firm foundation. They expected to create a system that will be fair to all students so that they will be able to realize their full potential. An educational system, according to the ministry, will be created to include all types of students, whether they were challenged or gifted, as well as the creation of a modern system which will be relevant to the needs of students, society, as well as global entities. Professional development courses were also rolled out by Edison Teachers College for teachers to keep them on the cutting edge of their profession, and to ensure that the ministry's goals of inclusion could be realized. One such course was entitled Disabilities and Physical Education. This workshop sought to explain the various categories of disabilities within our educational system and presented PE teachers with strategies which could be utilized within the physical education environment which would cater to the needs of disabled students. Throughout the year, staff also benefit from training in the following courses: creating positive behavior management structures for effective PE, exploring the 5E model for science instruction in primary schools, instructional approaches to the teaching of reading comprehension at the primary level, as well as fundamentals of play-based learning. Teacher Ms. Tracy Wooden was awarded a Certificate of Competence for successfully completing the Learning Recovery and Enhancement Program in the School Leadership Training course offered by the Joint Board of Teacher Education and the University of the West Indies, Cave Hill campus. It certainly was the ministry's intention to design a positive future for students by ensuring that our teachers receive the requisite training. I'm on now to the school activities of 2023 to 2024. The staff ably assisted the students in designing their destiny by selecting students of classes 3 and 4 for leadership positions in September. For the school year 2023 to 24, 13 prefects were installed, along with head boy Raquan Stewart, head girl Miracle Toppin, deputy head boy Jakari Butcher, as well as deputy head girl Chazara Yearwood. The theme for this year's prefect installation ceremony was Smile, Show Courage by Taking the Lead. The featured speaker for this occasion was Mrs. Eleanor Brathwaite, retired principal of St. Matthew's Primary School. School activities continued as the students were given the opportunity to learn how they could utilize Barbadian produce to create different recipes and partake of a healthy diet at the same time. To achieve this goal, expert Barbadian cook Mrs. Marion Hart was invited to the school, where she made a presentation about our local breadfruit and how she used it to make flour. At the end of the presentation, Mrs. Hart shared with students and staff biscuits made of breadfruit flour, as well as cookies made of sweet potato flour. Teachers continued to give the students opportunities to create their own destinies by presenting the chance to be creative. I want to thank Mrs. Stowe and her team for creating Character Day during Reading Week. The students were dressed like the main characters in their favorite stories like Red Riding Hood, The Lion King, Goldilocks, and the Three Bears, just to name a few. The students were able to tell their favorite stories to their classmates and showcase their outfits to the entire school as well. Thank you very much, parents and guardians, for being on board and supporting the children. They had a great time. Thanks go out to Ms. Maxwell, our senior teacher, for organizing the visit by Pages Bookstore to our school. They set up displays of books and stationery, which were on sale to the students. All of these activities assisted greatly in encouraging the students to develop a love of reading. Ladies and gentlemen, Isaiah chapter 58, verse 11 informs us that God guides our destiny and provides us with satisfaction. And the verse that speaks to this reads as follows: "The Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose waters never fail." End of Bible verse. What comforting words we are presented with as we wait faithfully to join with our God for eternity. To ensure that this great destiny was the hope and possibility of our students, members of the group YWAM and Reverend Beverly Pinder would visit our school and give our students religious instruction every Wednesday afternoon. On these occasions, the students would get to meet missionaries from several European and North American countries. In addition, the Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill of St. Philip Parish Church provided spiritual guidance for our staff and students every other Wednesday, and for special occasions such as Ash Wednesday and, of course, our graduation today. Matthew chapter 6, verse 33 instructs us to seek God's kingdom for our destiny. The Bible verse says, and I quote, "But seek ye first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. And I know this one very well because my dad had it up in our house, and we had to say it every day. Every year, I can tell you that the students of St. Philip's Primary are the recipients of St. Philip Parish Church's Scholarship Fund. Our students are given the funds needed to assist with secondary school expenses. Of course, this year, all 9 of our students will benefit. Thanks so very much, Reverend O'Neill and the St. Philip's Church family. Round of applause, please. Thank you. In addition, ladies and gentlemen, I want to publicly thank Reverend David Garner and his church for that special Sunday service which he organized for our students. It was certainly a very enjoyable one, and that is at the Shekinah Wesleyan right across the street from our school. Not only were the children encouraged to work hard to achieve their goals, but they were also instructed to put God first in their lives so that there would be a possibility of great success. Thanks so much to the Wesleyan family too for the provision of the examination supplies given to our students for use in the BSSEE. We at St. Philip's Primary are very appreciative of the efforts of these 3 religious organizations who promote peace, love, hope, and charity for a great destiny. May God's richest blessings be upon you all. Students had a great time this year as they celebrated Bajan Day. On this occasion, the children showed their appreciation for people and things Barbadian as they dressed to mimic Gabby, Miss Mattie, the nut vendor, a hawker with ground provisions and vegetables, the Prime Minister, the Honorable Amor Motley, and the President, Dame Sandra Mason. Also, our popular hero, Rihanna, as well as the Bajan green monkey. And I can tell you, these children know how to mimic people out there to a T, especially Miss Shania Brooms-Barker-Wason. Students and staff enjoyed a delectable Bajan fare with pudding and sauce and fish cakes made by Auntie Jenny. Also on the menu for that day were delectables such as conkeys, golden apple drink, morbi, as well as passion fruit drink. I want to express my thanks to those parents who came to assist us in the kitchen, like Auntie Jenny, Sheila Barrow, Rose, Valdine, and Carol Green. Thanks also go out to Miss Rihanna Grace for her assistance in donating items. To the parents and guardians of all of our students, thanks so much for your support because you donated flour, salt fish, herbs, pumpkins, sweet potatoes, and all the other ingredients which we needed to make not only Bajan Day a success, but also all the other school activities as well. Round of applause for my sweet, sharing parents. I have to thank Mr. Richard Mears of Edgecombe Plantation as well for the vegetables and ground provisions, which he also donated to the school for our events, and for the assistance he rendered over the year to keep our school grounds in pristine condition. Our teachers assisted the students in designing their destiny by getting them involved in giving back to their country. The students participated in making the city of Bridgetown an exciting place to be with the decoration of one of the Christmas trees. It was a whole school endeavor with the children using recycled, reusable, repurposed, and natural materials to handcraft the decorations. The decorations reflected the African country of study for the year 2023, which was Rwanda. Thanks go to teachers like Mrs. Marshall Bushell, Mrs. Miller, and Miss Alicia Brown for their assistance in taking the students to the city and assisting them in their endeavors. A beautiful tree was indeed created. The Christmas celebrations continued with the invitation from the St. Philip's Parish Church to our students to attend the church's Christmas party, which was held on the church's grounds on December 23rd. In addition, music teacher Miss Anthea Maxwell trained a number of students from St. Philip's Primary, as well as students from all of the primary schools in the parish of St. Philip, to form a combined choir. The idea for this combined choir was spearheaded by Mr. Medford Curtin of the Lions Club of Barbados East. The children sang several Christmas carols, which were very much appreciated by the audience of principals, parents, guardians, teachers, as well as Emerald City shoppers. Thank you so much, Mr. Curtin, for rewarding the participants of the choir with Christmas gifts for their efforts. Early childhood coordinator, Mrs. Sherry-Ann Holder-Hope, pulled out all of the stops as she immersed the students in the infant department in some exciting, authentic experiences during the school year. During the first term, the theme selected for the infants was, "Let's get on the move, land transportation." So the tour chosen for the students formed part of their learning experiences for the theme selected. The students first traveled to the Granville Williams bus terminal. This was a first-time visit for several of our students, as most parents now travel by motor vehicle. The children were able to find out how to queue for the bus and to look for the bus sign and numbers. The students also toured Golden Square Freedom Park, as well as Independence Square. After leaving Bridgetown, the infants traveled to Folkestone, where they enjoyed a hearty meal. Mrs. Holder-Hope continued in Term 2 to assist in designing our students' destiny by organizing an educational tour to support the theme chosen, which was for Term 2, Transportation by Sea. This tour gave students for the first time the chance to step aboard a Coast Guard vessel and to learn all about what their job entailed. It was a great learning experience for all. However, the early childhood coordinator was not finished as yet. During the final term, the students got the opportunity to utilize the theme Transportation by Air, and this time they really took off. The exciting plan was to see a drone in action. The students were first given some insight into the various safety measures which had to be taken into consideration when operating a drone, and they were shown the various parts of the drone and given the names as well. An expert in the field also informed students that there were only certain persons in Barbados who were allowed to fly drones. But I can tell you, after the presentation came the most amazing part, and that was when the students all gathered on the playing field to watch an actual drone in flight. But the surprises didn't end there, as some very brave students and some adventurous teachers utilized the opportunity to fly the drone around our playing field. It was a joyful occasion, one that the staff and students will never ever forget. Mrs. Holder-Hope continued to immerse her department in some additional authentic experiences, and they included an educational tour to the Grantley Adams International Airport. The students boarded an airplane with their boarding passes, of course, sat in the seats, and even in the cockpit of all places. While on board, the children were served a glass of ice-cold Bajan H2O by a smiling air hostess. They had a most enjoyable time as they learned about the operations of the Grantley Adams International Airport. A Barbadian pilot even showed the children that they too could grow up to be a pilot just like him if they really wanted to. Thank you very much, Mrs. Holder-Hope. Our students, I'm going to let you give her the applause that she deserves. Thank you. Our students demonstrated how creative they could be when it was time for our African Awareness Day celebrations. The country of study for this occasion was Chad for the year 2024. Very interesting and splendid replicas of African huts, which are native to Chad, were on display. This African village was created by Infants B students and their teacher, Mrs. Tracy Wooden. In addition, on that special day, several students were beautifully outfitted in their splendid African outfits, which were modeled on stage for all to see. Students of the school continued to get involved in activities that would place them on the path to becoming worthwhile citizens of Barbados. This time, it was the turn of the Language Arts Coordinator, Mrs. Stout, to organize for the juniors a walking tour of the church village community. To ensure the students' safety, they were accompanied by police officer Sergeant Vaughn. While on their walk, students got the opportunity to give back to members of their community as they delivered 2 fruit baskets to 2 retired staff members of St. Philip's Primary School. And we're on to sporting activities. The students did not hide their talents at all as they competed against their housemates at the school's inter-house sports. A notably exciting day was had by all as Yellow House athletes roared to the top with 578 points. In second position was Blue House with 555 points, and Red House was close behind with 550 points. Our Victor Ludoran was Jakari Busher from Yellow House, who scored 36 points, while Victress Ludoran was Chazara Yearwood from Red House, who scored 34 points. I can tell you that Chazara, the young lady who gave the welcome, likes to win. And she was a winner in this Barbados Secondary School examination because Chazara will be heading off to Combermere School. She can do it. After the inter-house school sports came knapsack. For the first time, the field events for the under-7s were held at the Alexandra School, while the events for the under-11s and under-13s were conducted at the Courage and Paris School. At these events, student Taraji Codrington came first in the under-9 girls long jump, registering a jump of 2.26 meters. Athlete Roshana Atwell was not to be outdone, as she too placed first in the under-9 girls cricket ball throw, registering a distance of 20.79 meters. And of course, you know, the principal went all the way down the road for that drive because I can't let my little ones go to the north and I stay in the east. I had to make sure that they had a good time and that they returned to school. So I accompanied them on that day. It was certainly a joyful day as the school placed 4th overall in the zone's field events. I am proud to tell you that 3 of the school's athletes participated in the knapsack finals, which were held at the Usain Bolt complex. Those lucky athletes were Gold Blackett, Caleb Toppin, and Roshana Atwell. Roshana scored gold once more in the cricket ball throw. Congratulations to Roshana Atwell of Class 1 for a job well done. Now, the athletes could not have performed so exceedingly well without the hard work and dedication of 2 gentlemen. Our PE teacher, Mr. Jason Bino, and volunteer PE teacher for St. Philip's School, a very lucky school, I'll tell you that, having young people come in and work for free. Mr. Dominic Aline, thank you so very much, gentlemen. Your great work was very much appreciated. Thank you. You should never always be on receiving end without saying thank you. First, I want to say thanks to God for his amazing blessings. Without him, we could do absolutely nothing. You know, there's a popular saying in Barbados and says, and I quote, God doesn't come, but he sends his angels in heaven and those right here on this blessed earth to assist you. Well, during the year, that is exactly what happened. I want to thank some extremely hard-working members of staff who labor every day to ensure that we can purchase those items we need to operate the school and to assist students who are having difficulties and to prepare for events such as this graduation day. A special thanks go out to our hardworking Auntie Jenny, teacher of reception, Miss Alicia Brown, our janitor, Mrs. Evelyn Thomas, as well as her daughter, Shante Thomas, and all of those hardworking parents who care about our school and who we can call on at a moment's notice in our hour of need. A heartfelt thank you goes out to Old Scholar and patron of St. Philip's Primary. And who's that person? Can you tell me? His first name begins with an S. Selwin what? Yes, Mr. Selwin Holder. During the school year, he presented our students and with all of the stationery requested on their materials list for the year 23 to 24. It took us about 2 days to unpack that stationery and give them out, I can tell you. In addition to that, he provided them with 69 school bags as well. Ladies and gentlemen, these students of St. Philip's Primary are greatly loved by Mr. Selwin Holder because he strives to ensure that they have it all. A graduation of this dimension could not be facilitated without the assistance of Mr. Selwin Holder. He funded the rental of this space, paid for the gifts for the teaching and ancillary staff, and to crown it off, is also responsible for providing the delectable hors d'oeuvres with which you will be served at the end of this ceremony. Of course, Mr. Holder is not finished yet. He has a ton more things to accomplish, but I will let him tell you about his plans later. Thanks so much, Mr. Holder. I want you to know that words cannot express how much we appreciate your goodness. On behalf of the staff, students, parents, and guardians of St. Philip's Primary, I wish to express thanks to the President of the Barbados Association of Southern California for the funding of the Great Start Breakfast Program. Special thanks to those hardworking ladies like June Small and the ever-present, energetic, youthful Peggy Codrington for continuing their efforts to raise funds to ensure that one of our students' basic needs is satisfied. I also want to thank the association for the 40 backpacks which they donated to our students during the school year. Thanks so much, Mr. Gregory Chase. Thanks as well go out to the Lions Club of Barbados East for organizing the preparation of the nutritious breakfast which was served to our students. I distinctly recall that on the first morning, the president, Ms. Stephanie Brathwaite, was there to oversee the serving of the delicious breakfast to 19 deserving students. Ladies and gentlemen, I often get phone calls where persons have something that they want to give to our school. I recall it was just before the Christmas holiday that I received a call from a staff member of the Light and Power Company right here in Barbados. They had a $500 gift voucher which they wanted me to give to a deserving parent. The parent of one of our reception students, a very hardworking, dedicated dad who does it all, was selected as the recipient. I also wish to express a special thank you to Mrs. Crystal Knight and the management of Guild & Company for the gifts of stationery given to our Class 4 students. They were certainly very much appreciated by students and their parents. I want to say thanks to Class 4 teacher, Mrs. Angela Miller, for all of her hard work in preparing the students over the last 2 years and assisted them greatly in designing their destiny. They could not have reached this far without your teaching, and so I want to let you know that we appreciate your efforts. Mrs. Miller, Mrs. Miller gave up her entire Easter holiday to put in the extra tutoring, which was needed to give our graduating class that competitive edge. Heaven could not have done more, I can tell you. With her hard work came great success. With Miracle topping our head girl, at the top of the class with scores of 88% in English and 90% in mathematics. She is destined to become a student of the St. Michael Secondary School, her first choice. Congratulations, Miracle. You have reaped success. I don't have a thing to complain about. One student will be heading to Comamere, 2 students will be going to the large school, 2 to Graydon Sealy, 1 to Parkinson, and 1 to Princess Margaret. And I can tell you that Princess Margaret was her first choice. So she is very, very happy today. Thank you so much, Mrs. Miller, for a job very well executed. A big thank you goes out to all of my hard-working teaching and ancillary staff at St. Philip's Primary. Please know that I observe and appreciate your work. I want to say thank you to the husband of one of our janitors, Mr. Sean Thomas. Mr. Thomas has a job, but I can tell you, he will make sure his wife arrives at work maybe an hour before the scheduled time. And he would say to Ms. Bamji, you know, this car park needs cleaning, this courtyard needs cleaning. Just give me the blower, let me get rid of these leaves. And on evenings when he arrives, he's going to assist her in cleaning down all the tables and sweeping and tidying up. I want to say thanks so very much to Mr. Sean Thomas for all of his hard work. Finally, I want to say thank you so much to a young lady, Miss Clarissa Weeks. She is a student of the reception class, but she has a job. She doesn't get paid. She has a job at St. Philip's Primary every morning. I want to thank Miss Clarissa for making my day a very happy one by presenting me with a beautiful flower every morning. Clarissa, you are so sweet. May God continue to smile on you. Is Clarissa here today? Clarissa, come up, let me see, let the audience see you. Come on up. Come up, Clarissa. And I can tell you, it is not only the principal that gets a flower every morning, it's all the teachers. So she's not discriminating. Come, let me give you a hug. Thank God for Clarissa. Thank you so much. There's hope for the future. We have good children around the place. We just have to give them some love and give them a hug when they do sweet things. All right? We're on to advice for parents. I am sure that the question on the minds of parents and guardians today is, how can I assist my child in designing his or her destiny? It depends on what kind of future you want for your precious little one, but you must have some idea of your child's goals. You can chat with them and make these goals clear. Don't let other people decide what your child's destiny will be. Half the time, it won't be anything good, and they won't be going anywhere that anybody would want their child to go. A possible path to utilize to assist your child in designing a worthwhile destiny is to show interest in what is happening in your child's classroom at his or her new school. Get to know the form teacher and join the class chat. The schools are not going to be the same size as St. Philip. They are going to be 1,000 children to our 116. And there can't be any principal office every day like how my children will come in at any point in time. And they expect me to entertain them, and I do. But things will change when they head off to those big institutions. If you change your cell phone number, parents, please inform your children's class teacher. If your child is not going to be attending school for any important reason, send the teacher a message beforehand. Don't wait to get the report at the end of the term to then find out that your child, whom you were sending daily, never attended any more than 3 days each week. Ensure that you attend farm level meetings and make sure that you have a conversation with all of your child's teachers, not just the ones he or she wants you to have a conversation with. You will get the full story if you chat with them all. They might be doing their work in the English class and giving the math teacher hell. Monitor your child's progress at secondary school and get some lessons for your child to help them to overcome any difficulties. Next, parents, be inquisitive. Find out the career your child wants to pursue at the third form level and assist your child in selecting the subjects that will place your child on the path to acquiring the knowledge required for the job selected. Parents and guardians, I want you to get to know your child's friends. If you find out that their friends are not destined to have a positive future, have them deleted. No more contact. Finally, encourage your children to give back to the school and the community. I have children from secondary school and 2 sweet young ladies, Shalia Marshall and Sanaya Mapp from the university, who give their assistance to our school without pay. In fact, you can't graduate from university in Barbados now anymore unless you put in those give back hours, all right? And that is so very important. You could pass all the courses, but you have to give back at an institution. You just cannot be on the receiving end all the time. It certainly can't be only what my country has to do for me, but also what I can do for my beloved country, Barbados. Parents and guardians, your children can have a great destiny if this advice is heeded. And finally, last but not least, some advice to my beautiful children here dressed in their St. Philip's primary uniforms, our graduates. Students, these are the words I want you to keep in mind. I am destined for greatness. I want you to say that after me. I am destined for greatness. Once you have these words as your ringtone, you will be engaging in the following. I want you to listen carefully. You will be attending secondary school daily and punctually. You'll be following the school's rules, selecting a career and working towards achieving the requirements, avoiding fights and other forms of misconduct, showing interest in your studies, always having your homework completed, displaying good manners and cooperating with your teachers, and appreciating the expensive education that the government of Barbados is providing for you. Remember, you are engaging in these things because you are destined for greatness. So keep on this positive path. I want to leave with you this poem by Daya Nandan, and please listen to the advice given in his writing. You are the master of your own destiny, for you make the choices, you hold the key. You can influence and direct your circumstances. You can make decisions to improve your advances. You can make your life what you want it to be, with persistence and courage to shape your destiny. You choose the pathway. You open the doors. You influence the outcome of this life of yours. There are always ways to improve yourself in life, just as there are always ways to avoid death's knife. The biggest room in the world is the room for improvement, so make the right choices and direct your life's movements. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for your rapt attention.
Thank you, Madam Principal, for your comprehensive presentation of the school's exciting activities and programs for this academic year. It now gives me great pleasure to invite the graduates to render the song, "A Million Dreams." Graduates, Another round of applause for our graduates. Well done. At this point in time, I invite to the stage Mrs. Wendy Stout, who will read the profile of our featured speaker, Mrs. Joyce Seeley. Mrs. Stout.
Master of Ceremonies, Mrs. Sharianne Holder-Hope, retired Senior Tax Inspector of the Inland Revenue Department, President of the Diocese of Barbados Mothers Union and guest speaker for this morning's event, Mrs. Joyce Holder, social worker with the Ministry of Education, Technology and Vocational Training, and presenter of the prizes to our graduating class, Ms. Daviana Phillips, Principal of the St. Philip's Primary School, Mrs. Pameletta Bamji, Education Officer from the Ministry of Education, Technology and Vocational Training with responsibility for St. Philip's Primary, Mr. Samuel Maynard, Priest in charge of St. Philip's Parish Church, the Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill, Old Scholar and Patron of St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Selwin Holder, President of the Barbados Association of Southern California and Patron of St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Gregory Chase, Principal, past and present members of the teaching and ancillary staff of St. Philip's Primary School, students of the graduating class 2024, parents, guardians, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, a blessed good morning to all of you. Mrs. Joyce Adele Seeley, our featured speaker this morning, is the proud wife of Ulrich Seeley and the adoring mother of 2 children, Dr. Andrea Seeley, who works in meteorology, and Leslie Seeley, manager at BADMC. Mrs. Seeley gained her early education at St. Bernard's Primary School and West St. Joseph, now Grantley Adams Memorial. She gained her higher education at Barbados Community College, Barbados Institute of Management and Productivity, the University of the West Indies, and Gregory Labor College in the USA. Mrs. Seeley is now retired, but previously worked in the Inland Revenue Department as a senior tax inspector. She believes in self-improvement, and among her many skills, she has studied event planning, occupational safety, time management, and educational technology and workers' education. Mrs. Seeley is the president of the Diocese of Barbados Mothers Union, a member of the St. Philip's Parish Church, executive member of her secondary school's Past Students Association, former shop steward and second vice president and chairperson of the Education Committee of the NUPW, and former second vice president of NOW. Although Mrs. Seeley has been busy professionally, she still finds time to travel, garden, cook, and listen to music. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's stand as we welcome Mrs. Joyce Seeley to the podium. I know you will gain much insight from her deep pool of wisdom, which she will share with us this morning. Mrs. Joyce Seeley.
You may be seated. Thank you, Master of Ceremonies, Mrs. Sherry Ann Holder Hope, and Miss Wendy Stout for her kind profile. Miss Daviana Phillips, Principal, Mrs. Pameletta Bamji, Mr. Samuel Maynard, Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill, Mr. Selwin Holder, Mr. Gregory Chase, members of the teaching and ancillary staff of the St. Philip's Primary School, students of the graduating class of 2024, parents and guardians, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thanks to Madam Principal and staff for their gracious invitation. It is my honor and pleasure to address this 2024 graduation class on the theme, Designers of Our Destiny. Permit me for 1 minute to highlight your school's motto, diligence brings success. This motto must have been one of the motivators for the principal and teachers, despite all the obstacles. I'm thinking it must have also served as a motivating factor for you, the graduates, to succeed at all costs. Now to your theme for this year. Let me say at the outset that as designers of our destiny, there's a bright future for each and every one of you. It is not going to be easy, but ensure you do what is legal and right to succeed. The first thing you need to do is to determine who you really want to be in life. You're free to be anything you want to. However, you've got to choose something realistic and sensible. You cannot be all famous or be a movie star, but aim to be the best of whoever you want to be. There are many positive, tried, and tested pointers that can assist you in your journey as designers of your destiny. For lack of time, I'll just list a few of them. I must say here that whoever wrote that acrostic, designers of our destiny, must have peeped at my notes. This acrostic could or should be given to the graduating class. And I'm hoping that if the school cannot do it, I'd like to have it done. I'll pay for the services to have it done on one of your bookmarks. I'm sure it will serve you well in the future. The first thing I want to speak to is to set realistic goals. First, you must set goals and work to achieve them. Do not go through life without a goal or a plan. A goal or plan gives a direction of sense and purpose. The second thing I want to speak to, believe in yourself. Successful people believe in themselves and their abilities. Believe that you can achieve your goals and overcome any obstacle. Preparation is important. Being prepared means that you have a better chance of being successful. You are confident. You are proactive. You are able to act quickly and decisively. And also, you're always ready to face the challenges and also grasp opportunities. Stay focused. Stay focused on what you want to achieve. Success requires discipline and focus. Avoid distractions and stay on track. Sacrifices. There are some things in life you may have to forego to achieve something that in the future is more valuable. Some things you may have to forego are as follows: your addiction to social media and going out with friends in order to study. Another thing I want to say that is important to strike a balance. You have to know when to strike the balance between working hard and having fun. You may want to succeed, but may not want to put in the work. Make every effort to stay healthy. Success requires a healthy mind and body. You need to look after yourself spiritually, physically, and mentally. Take care of yourself by eating well, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep. I speak now to successes and failures. Celebrate your successes and accomplishments. And I must say, this is a fantastic environment to start. You have time to really from here onward, celebrate your successes. Positive examples. The people you surround yourself with can have a big impact on your success. Surround yourself with supportive and positive people who will encourage and inspire you. The get quick rich mentality. Children, be wary of those who try to encourage you with get rich quick schemes. These can vary from drug peddling to video recordings. These things can cause you a loss in your sense of pride and dignity, and they are very difficult to recapture. The acquisition of too many free things. Things cost money, time, effort. There's not a single thing in this world that just drops into your lap without a certain there is a catch with it. There are persons out there who will do anything: rape, murder, child molestation for a price. Remember, children, you are priceless. No one can buy you. Understanding who is in charge. Find time for God. He sees things that we cannot see. Never let our circumstances determine who we are. How people treat us determine our value. How good we perform determine our worth. God knows your heart. You may have done things like all of us that you are not proud of. If you are strong in the Lord, you are full of the I can do power. Students, please, I'm praying and asking of you to take these two things with you. You may research them on your laptops. Use them as your mantra. Use them as your words or song for repeat. The first is found in the Bible, 1 Timothy 4, verse 12. Depending on the version you read it from, it says the same thing, and I read, "Do not let anyone look down on you." Some versions say, "make fun of you." Some say, "despise you," just because you are young. So do not let anyone look down on you, make fun of you, or despise you because you are young. Set an example for others by following you, your workmates, your other students at school. Because what you say and do, as well as what they say and do, should be underscored by love and purity. The second thing I want you to take to heart is the song, "I Am a Promise." I am a possibility. I am a promise with a possibility. I am a great big bundle of potentiality, and I'm learning to hear God's voice. These two things, I'm sure, will strengthen you firmly on any actions you have to take to become designers of your destiny. And parents, finally to you, the theme, Designers of Your Destiny, speaks to not only our children, but parents. Your children cannot do it without you. Here are just a few tips. Your children is a heritage and a reward from God. Do not just let go of this gift that God gave you to those out there who mean no good. No one ever said that the raising of children is an easy task. They do not come with a manual or handbook for use of purpose. They come with spiritual, physical, and emotional needs that we as parents must meet. If we do not meet those needs, others on the outside will do it for us readily, and the results may not be too good. You are to ensure they are protective from societal ills, physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. Neglectful parenting. Some of us say, I cannot do anything with my child. And this is an admission of, I don't know how to be a parent. But it means caring where your child is and who his or her friends are. Be a positive example, influence on your child's life. It is important for us to provide our children with a solid foundation upon which they can build their lives. One of the best ways to do this is by setting a good example of yourself. Teach your children respect for self and authority. Do not speak ill of others in front of these fertile minds. The stronger your relationship with your child, the more influence you'll have, because your child will be more likely to seek your guidance and value your opinion and support. Strong support system. Parents, you should not or cannot fall short of seeking out strong support systems. It is so important in successful parenting. Do not fail to talk to a guidance counselor, teachers, priests, a trusted neighbor, or relatives. Do not be afraid or ashamed to ask for help. There are parenting programs coordinated by the government of Barbados, the non-governmental organizations, and even the Barbados Mothers Union, of which I am the president. Finally, parents, I have a Bible verse for you. I have relied on it for over the years, and it has carried me through some very tough and rough patches. I have a daughter who is 49, a son who's 41, a grandson who's 17 now at the community college, and a 6-year-old. I'm also helping with those, and I want the grandparents too not to give up on their grandchildren. It is tough out there than when we were growing up. This verse taken from Philippians chapter 4, verse 13. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. Parents, caregivers, mentors, and all those present, please help these young ones as they seek to be the designers of their destiny. God's blessing and love on all of us.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Seeley, for your words of advice and encouragement to the graduates and parents. I re-invite Mrs. Wendy Stout to the stage to make a special presentation to our featured speaker, Mrs. Joyce Seeley. Thank you, Mrs. Stout, Mrs. Wooding, and of course, Mrs. Seeley. I'm just going to give her a chance to return to her seat. I want you, the audience, to now focus your attention to the screen for a video presentation of the graduating class entitled Growing Up in St. Philip.
I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. Lost to myself, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground. I always get up now to see what's next. Birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting it wrong. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. Try everything. Try everything. Try everything. Look how far you've come. You filled your heart with love. Baby, you've done enough. Take a deep breath. Don't beat yourself up. No need to run so fast. Sometimes we come last, but we did our best. I won't give up. No, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I won't give up. No, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. I wanna try even though I could fail. I'll keep on making those new mistakes. I'll keep on making them every day. Those new mistakes. Try everything. Try everything. Try everything. I messed up tonight. I lost another fight. Lost to myself, but I'll just start again. I keep falling down. I keep on hitting the ground. I always get up now to see what's next. Birds don't just fly, they fall down and get up. Nobody learns without getting it wrong. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start again. No, I won't leave. I wanna try everything. Class of 2024. I won't give up, no, I won't give in till I reach the end, and then I'll start.
I am sure that you enjoyed those beautiful visual memories of the graduating class 2024. Without further ado, I invite Mrs. Sonia Marshall Bushell to read the profile of the presenter of scrolls and prizes, Miss Davian Phillips. Mrs. Marshall Bushell.
Master of Ceremonies, Mrs. Sherry-Ann Holder-Hope, retired Senior Tax Inspector of the Inland Revenue Department, President of the Diocese of Barbados Mothers Union, and guest speaker for this morning's event, Mrs. Joyce Seeley, social worker with the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, and presenter of prizes to our graduating class, Miss Davian Phillips, principal of St. Philip's Primary School, Mrs. Pameletta Bamji, education officer from the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, with responsibility for St. Philip's Primary, Mr. Samuel Maynard, priest in charge of St. Philip's Parish Church, the Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill, old scholar and patron of St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Selwin Holder, president of the Barbados Association of Southern California and patron of St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Gregory Chase, principals, past and present, members of the teaching and ancillary staff of St. Philip's Primary School, students of the graduating class 2024, parents, guardians, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Ms. Davian Phillips is a social worker at the Ministry of Education with responsibility for 10 schools spanning the St. Philip and St. Michael districts. She possesses an associate degree in social work as well as a master's in disaster risk management and climate change. She is currently pursuing a master's in philosophy in social work. Ms. Phillips previously worked at the Ministry of People Empowerment and Elder Affairs as a social worker on the Strengthening of Human and Social Development Project in Barbados, which is an IDB-funded project. Here she was tasked with working with families in poverty on issues that acted as barriers to their ability to become empowered and not dependent on government if it was not necessary. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Ms. Phillips worked the ministry's hotline. She went on to act as a liaison between the Ministry of People Empowerment and the Barbados Defense Force, assisting with the coordination and distribution of care packages. She currently volunteers with the Barbados Red Cross Society, where she facilitates courses in psychological first aid and modules of the Community Disaster Response Team's training. Since starting at the ministry, Ms. Phillips has created the Empower HIM and HER programs to encourage young gentlemen and ladies to think about how they want to portray themselves and encouraging them to not allow other people to force them to act out of character. She also hosted an initiative called Celebrate Kindness, No Name Calling Day, which encouraged students to be kinder to one another. Ms. Phillips' philosophy is that the biggest distance between people is misunderstanding, that if we put ourselves in other person's shoes and try to understand their perspective and differences, the world will be a much better place. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Davian Phillips.
Welcome to the stage, Ms. Phillips. I now call on Mrs. Angela Miller, who will do the roll call of our graduates, followed by Mrs. Tracy Wooding and Ms. Alicia Brown, who will assist with the passing of the prizes to Ms. Davian Phillips, our presenter of prizes.
Good morning, everyone. We're at that stage where all the children are looking forward to, and I'm sure that you parents are as well. As I call each child, I'm going to ask one parent to come to this side when the child comes down to assist them, because as you can see, they have quite a big package to walk with. I'm starting with Raquan Stewart. Raquan is receiving a prize for helpfulness and perseverance, displaying good leadership qualities. He also receives a prize for spiritual development as the most outstanding male participant at the ISCF, a prize for participating in Cub Scouts, another for being one of the dominating male athletes in Blue House, and for good results at Common Entrance. Rashay Ali. Rashay receives a prize for being an avid reader. She also receives a prize for spiritual development, participating in ISCF, having a positive attitude, good results at Common Entrance, especially in language arts, and the most improved in mathematics. Rashay also receives a prize for good attendance, helpfulness, and for being a true representative of Yellow House. Parent, please remember I'm asking you to meet the child over here by the step as they come down. Taja Belgrave. Taja is the recipient of a prize for spiritual development and participation in ISCF. She also receives a prize for good work in social studies, science, and art. Taja also receives a prize for good work in the Common Entrance English. She is being recognized for her discipline and deportment, exemplary conduct, and her leadership skills. She receives a prize for good attendance. Shania Brooms Barker Wason. Shania receives a prize for discipline and good leadership qualities, perseverance and helpfulness. She also receives a prize for hard work in mathematics, good Common Entrance results in mathematics, achieving against the odds in language arts. She also receives a prize for spiritual development, participation in ISCF, being a dedicated Brownie. A prize is also awarded for participation in sports. Jakaylee Fergus. Jakaylee is receiving a prize for achieving against the odds in language arts, an improvement in language arts, good leadership qualities, spiritual development, and participation in ISCF, also for being a dedicated Brownie. Jakaylee also receives a prize for perseverance and helpfulness, and receives a prize for deportment. Abigail Holder. Abigail receives a prize for spiritual development and participation in ISCF. She also receives a prize for deportment, helpfulness, good attendance, and for being a dedicated Brownie. Abigail is also the recipient for a prize for consistency, her leadership qualities, and participation in social studies and science. Delicia Maynard. Delicia receives a prize for spiritual development and for being the most outstanding female participant in ISCF. She also receives a prize for discipline and deportment, exemplary conduct, and an improvement in language arts. A prize is also awarded to Delicia for deportment and good work in social studies. Miracle Topping. Miracle receives the prize for being the top student, top in mathematics, and top in language arts, for good common entrance results. She also receives a prize for discipline, deportment, perseverance, and good citizenship. A prize is also rewarded for participation in athletics. Shazara Yearwood. Shazara is the recipient of a prize for being an all-round student. Good results in mathematics. She receives a prize for spiritual development, participation in ISCF, discipline and deportment, perseverance, consistency, keen work in social studies and science. Shazara also receives a prize for being the top female athlete of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Phillips and Mrs. Miller. I now re-invite Mrs. Sonia Marshall-Bushell to the stage, who will make two presentations, one to Ms. Phillips and one to Mrs. Miller. Mrs. Marshall-Bushell.
I wasn't aware that I had to make this presentation to Mrs. Miller this morning. Otherwise, I would have prepared a very long speech for all of her hard work and dedication that she put in to this graduating class today. Ms. Miller, on behalf of the principal and staff, I just want to present you with this small token of appreciation. We know that this could never repay you for the hard work that you did with this class this year. Congratulations and thank you.
Once again, thank you to Ms. Phillips, Mrs. Miller, Ms. Brown, and Mrs. Woodin, and of course, Mrs. Marshall Bushell. I now invite the President of the Barbados Association of Southern California to the stage to address us, Mr. Gregory Chase.
Thank you. Principal Bamji, to the staff and teachers of the St. Philip Primary School, to the graduating class of 2024, to the minister of St. Philip Church, St. Philip Parish Church, and to all the other assembled dignitaries and also the parents. Greetings from the Barbados Association of Southern California. We have a couple of our members here this morning. I was expecting a little bit bigger delegation, but if you'd please acknowledge Mr. Colin Cox and Marcy Cox, who are members of our association. The Barbados Association of Southern California supports the voice, the presence, and the culture of the Barbadian diaspora in Southern California. We support cultural awareness, and we celebrate the rich heritage and culture of Barbados and the Caribbean. We support educational and humanitarian causes with an emphasis on those who are most vulnerable among us. And we support youth, those who have special dreams and who are headed in the right direction and are making a positive contribution to their community. For the past few years, we have supported St. Philip Primary School in various ways. Most recently, we have supported the Great Start Breakfast program, where we seek to make sure that every child who needs breakfast does not go hungry while trying to study. I would like to thank our partners on the ground, those who are here from the St. Philip Lions Club East. If you are here, would you please give them a hand, please? And our work in this endeavor will continue. We get this question often: why St. Philip Primary School? And the answer is really simple. It is where we've been able to develop the relationship. And so I want to thank the principal, Ms. Bamji, for your partnership and cooperation in this venture with the Barbados Association of Southern California. Would you please give Ms. Bamji a round of applause? To you, class, boys and girls, we support you and we support the school because we believe that there are champions among you. I think that if you look down the row where you are, you'll probably recognize that there's a champion sitting next to one of you. And I can tell you that Barbados needs you. Barbados needs champions. And in about 20 years, you will be the pride of Barbados. You know, Barbados needs someone who is able to run a hospital. We get a lot of complaints about what happens at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. But where do we get people who are trained to run the hospital? And so we must look to our boys and girls to train them so that they might be able to improve the experience of patients when they go to Barbados. And we believe that a champion for the Barbados Hospital could be among this graduating class. If you believe that, would you give them some acknowledgement? Boys and girls, graduating class, I'm sure you've seen it on TV when it rains too much or streets flood, sometimes just 100 yards away from the ocean. It's because we need engineers. And we are depending on one of you, two of you, to be able to solve that problem for Barbados in just a few years. And I hope that your education at Comamere and Princess Margaret and some of the other schools that you'll be attending will help prepare you to solve some of the problems among you. We will need scientists to solve the sargassum seaweed problem. We'll need computer software developers to solve large administrative problems. We need people who know how to spend public money and how to administer it. And we believe that all of these champions that we need in Barbados are among this graduating class right here. And that's why we support you. So get prepared. Find the gifts that are in you that God has given to you and go about trying to make it happen, and your gifts will make room for you. You're champions. And we will call you champions because we believe you are. One of our members is a real champion, Mr. Selwin Holder, who is with us here today. He attended this school. He went abroad and he studied and he did business and he's very successful. And he came back to be a partner with this school. And I want you to know that that's what champions do. They become successful and then they give back. And we have a real champion in Mr. Selwin Holder. Parents, before you leave, I want to urge you, if you do anything else, but at least get a picture with this great man who is going to come and speak in just a few minutes. Thank you so very much, and we intend to continue our work with Ms. Bamji and with the school, and hopefully we'll be able to to show what we've been able to do. So from the Barbados Association of Southern California, we want to thank you for your assistance in all that we have been doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chase, for your positive words. And also a big thank you to your association, your members, for all that you do for the children of St. Philip's Primary. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to invite to the stage an old scholar and patron of this wonderful educational institution, St. Philip's Primary. Please welcome Mr. Selwin Holder to address you. Mr. Holder.
Good morning. Good morning, Master of Ceremony, Miss Pamela Bamji, Principal of St. Philip Primary School, Senior Teacher, Miss Maxwell, Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill of St. Philip Parish Church, distinguished guests. And when I said distinguished guests, let me include Mr. Gregory Chase, President of the Barbados Association of Southern California, and my friend who came down from the US here and was in St. Lucia watching the World Cup, Roy Anderson. Thank you for being here today. Mr. Anderson, thank you for being here today. Graduate class of 2024, and friends who are watching us live on Facebook and Zoom in the USA and far above. Before I begin, I want to extend a special thanks to the Ministry of Education Media Department for recording this very important day for the graduates of 2024. When the graduates receive their gift this morning or shortly, and the gift, there were a laptop and a voucher from Kid Shepherd for $400 to assist the parents with reference to their supplies as they go on to secondary school. However, with reference to the laptops, they are password protected, and we will give the password to senior teacher, Ms. Maxwell. So I will encourage the parents of the graduate class to reach out and get the password for the laptops that were presented today. To those who in the audience, you heard so much, you heard my name so much today. Let me officially introduce myself. I am Barbadian. I am from Bushy Park, St. Philip. I'm a former student, as you heard, from St. Philip Primary School, and also the founder of the Holder Community Trust, which was founded here in our community. To our graduates, today is a special day for you. You're graduating and moving on to the secondary school. And we are incredibly proud of your accomplishment. When I look and sit here today, I see the potential, I see the future pillars of the St. Philip and Barbados community. So many speakers that came before me spoke about the potentials that you have, and I can only add to that potential. Today is about 10 years, and let me go back a little. When I was your age, and this is very important, I didn't know what I need or what I wanted to be as a career. Whether if I wanted to be a doctor, an engineer, or even a pilot. On the other hand, FUB, you might not know what or sure what you wanted to be. Because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with my life, I felt I was never amount to anything. As you see so much crime in Barbados today with reference to gun violence and robbery among our own community. When I grew up, you know what I mean, it was far and beyond. But today, as we see that crime has been rampant, anything. So my challenge to you today, and is to look forward to the future. I was just like you. Didn't want to do anything at 10, 11, 12, peer pressure. I listened to the guest speaker advising you. I listened to the principal saying delete those people. I'm not challenging you to delete those, but I am telling you that everything that the principal and the guest speaker, Ms. Cisse, is correct. And I hope that the parents and the graduates would adhere. Many of you also might feel disappointed if you did not get into your dream school. For those who did not, congratulations on reaching your goal. And for those who, like me, didn't make it, congratulations, you have done well, and your growth will realize amazing things in your life. When I was at Princess Margaret, I still hadn't figured out what I wanted to do. While many of my classmates had already picked their career, again, I should have focused more on my education, but I did not. I left school with few educational achievements and struggled in the working world. These experiences reinforced the importance of education. However, my perspective changed as I realized that academics are not the only form of education. Each of you has unique talent within you that can shape your path towards success. Your talent may lie in your friendliness, handiness, athleticism, or creativity. Your options are limited only by your imagination. With this in mind, I wanted you to never place yourself in a box because you think good grades and academics are the only way to success. I did not, when I left school, have the academics. But I want you to let you know that hard work prevailed, and that's why I could stand here today. To the parents of our future successful men and women, I want to share a piece of advice. Looking back on my youth, I've come to appreciate the critical role parents played in their child's life. When the world is tough, you must be your child's rock. Their steady anchor, provide unwavering support. Children thrive on unconditional love and encouragement. Parents, we need to face some harsh reality. Our decision today to take the future of our children with life lives in. It is crucial to make time to assist your kids in their day-to-day education. And when I said that it is crucial, I mean that instead of coming home from work, I understand that you're tired and exhausted. And you usually ask, did you do your homework? I'm challenging you today, asking if you did your homework, check their homework, work with the teachers to ensure that the kids is on step. Do not wait till the graduates, or do not wait till the kids get into class 3 to send them to lessons because you are concerned about the common entrance exam. And if your kids is going to go to your school and not the school that the kid want to be. Please be active, involved in their learning, ask questions, engage with their teachers, help with homework, and support their academic pursuit at home. Tell them the importance of education in all the facets. Whether traditional career like law or medicine, invest in trade skills like mechanic or beauty, take the leap into technology or artificial intelligence, or giving them the running their own decision. Your involvement shows that education is a priority and help build a strong foundation for their success. You know children better than anyone, and you must work with them hand in hand. To the community at large, it takes a village to raise a kid. We bear responsibility to support and protect our parents and children. In this responsibility, we have failed. We do not support our parents enough. And I'm challenging the community today to support the parents in everything. Ensure they have the time of finance to ensure a bright future for our children. Our education system's strict standards leave little leniency for children who has employable skills outside what is considered norm and academic. Most important, our children need us. They are underperforming in schools and overstimulated online, as the guest speaker said about social media. If we continue along this path, we will put the future of our community at risk. We must change our mindset towards education. It is my aim. It is my aim to create avenues for children with all skill sets to strive. For students with trade skills, let's get them the tools they need. For those with business skills, let's open the door of opportunity for them. For students who have a natural knack for technology and social media, let us others offer them access to certificates they need to land high-paying careers. Let's work together to give our kids, children, access to environments where they can grow their skills, either through workshop or in our very own technology center. Remember, it takes a village to raise a child. As a member of this community, we must work together to create an environment which our youth can flourish through consistency and alternative support. We can empower our youth and protect our future. In conclusion, graduate, this is your home. Whether you attend a school down the road or in St. Lucie, this community is always here for you. Your journey is yours alone and only end when you say it does. Keep pushing towards that. Stay strong and remember that honesty and integrity will always be your thing. But before I get off the stage, I wanted to do something different. And before I do something different, it's probably gonna be a surprise. I'm gonna ask if the principal, Pamela Bamji, will join me on stage. As we reflect on the journey ahead and the support of our wonderful community, I'm proud to have a partner and Principal Pamela Bamji. I have several awards for you today. The first award I want to present to you is a plaque of your trust associate. I want to present you with this plaque. And it said, Pamela Bamji, Principal, St. Philip Primary School, for your outstanding contribution to the student and staff. You are a shining example to all who know you, the whole community trust.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Mr. Holder. You are full of surprises. Thanks a million.
I am, you know. I'm not finished yet. When I spoke to you, you said that you had 120 kids. And I said to you, I was very emotional because after you said you are the parent of 120 kids, it brings tears to my eyes because I know every day the parents let their kids come to the school and you're responsible for them and you have not neglected your responsibility. And today, all this decoration in here and all these gifts and all these kids' books that they received, there was a cost associated with it. And today I want to present you two checks. I want to present you the first check, payable to the Barbados School Meals Department. This check is for $4,500. It is for school meals, free school meals for 120 kids from 2024 to 2025. No parent within that 120 kids do not have to pay for school meals for that year. I'm not finished yet. I'm not finished. I am sure by now that you have received the school supply for 2024, 2025. That comes September when the kids return to school. I would assume that the parents do not have to go and look for backpack nor school supply for their kids with reference to 2024, 2025. So the $200 or $300 that you have to go and get for your kids, we have already covered that. And furthermore, it is my intention, Principal Angie, that I will pay free school meals for the next 5 years for all the kids at St. Philip Primary School. I'm not done. And on top of that, I will provide all the supplies that you requested for the next 5 years for the kids at St. Philip Primary School.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
And here I want to, one more. Everything comes with a cost. Everything with reference to the refreshments that you will receive shortly, with reference to the balloon, with reference to everything, the scene, everything comes with a cost. And I know that your school have a cure cost. And I want to present you a check for $2,500 to offset that cost that you had in relation to this graduation. What do you think of those awards or those gifts on behalf of St. Philip Primary School? These awards and gifts, I don't live in Barbados. I'm based in Washington, D.C. You know, it takes partners, or as I said, it takes a village to raise these kids, and we already have a partner here, a successful partner. But I wanted to talk about a friend, and let me give you an example. 3 years ago, I did not know this person. We had a Barbadian that was incarcerated in Riverside, Southern California. We reached out to the Barbados Embassy. No one wanted to help us. No one wanted to support another Barbadian because he was incarcerated in Southern California. I live in Washington. Our lawyers in Washington reached out, but no success. But we find a partner in Gregory, the president of the Southern California Association. And if Greg would come forward now and receive a token of our appreciation. Gregory Chase, President, Barbados Association of Southern California, for your and the association continuous support to the students of St. Philip Primary School from the Holy Community Trust. You know, when we presenting all these monetary gifts and all these things, it takes money to get these things. It takes donations. It takes contributions. It takes us asking the community. And this person I met and realized that the vision that we had for St. Philip Primary School was something that she can embody or imagine. And she has been raising money for this school, regardless of the pressure and regardless of what I asked, she has delivered. And I want Royalty Malone, if you will come up, Royalty has shown a preference to raise in funds. So anybody who doesn't want money to raise, reach out to her. She can do it. Done. Now, when these school supplies comes into Barbados, it needs logistics. It needs support. It needs someone on the ground. It needs money. It needs calls. It needs connections. It needs to go to the Barbados port. It takes a day out. Maybe take 2 or 3 days. And if you imagine and you said that it took 2 or 3 days for she to unpack the supplies, imagine those supplies in someone's house. It took my friend, a man that I can call a friend and a wife that I can call a friend, that I could tell them that the supplies for St. Philip Primary School is on this way, or the supplies for St. Philip's Primary School is in the port, and we need someone to clear them. We need someone to pay for them. We need someone to step up. It takes logistics. It just doesn't take taking the supplies to the school and delivering them. I am proud. I'm extremely proud. If you guys would stand to ask if Oslin Barfik will come forward and receive this year, because Oslin has been in this year from day one. She's in the port, she's paying the custom fees, she's getting things delivered to her home. She's got her home, if you look at her home, is all stocked up with supplies. And I want to thank her and her husband, Stanley Barfik, for all they have done on behalf of St. Philip Primary School. And if you will stand. Now her gift, and the reason her plaque is different, because of the logistics and the stuff that she has done, and she has never complained, and she has never said one word in reference to anything that I have asked Oslin to do, or asked Stanley to do. I am proud to call you my friend. These are my partners. These are my partners here at St. Philip Primary School. Ms. Banji said to me that we can't be all takers, we all have to be givers. Did you not tell me that, Ms. Banji? We have to be all givers. And we cannot, although if you look and you see that all the kids has received their gift, and we did not forget the teachers nor the auxiliary staff. We did not forget the teachers nor the auxiliary staff, because you have been doing a job in and out. And Ms. Banji said, and she insists that we take care of you. And I'm sure these gifts up here and support the Barbados community. And I'm not sure if we have time or read Joyce's, because Joyce from Judy Feed Barbados was the one that took care of all this stuff to make sure that the teachers and the auxiliary staff were given a gift for 2024. I want to thank you personally. I want to thank you, Mr. Chase, Royalty, and Oslin, for all that you have done, but all especially to the teachers day in and day out. Your job might not feel appreciative, but I want to let you know that we appreciate you. And thank you. That's the end of my speech. Thank you.
Mr. Holder, as stated in Luke chapter 6, verse 38, give, and it shall be given to you. I now have on stage Mrs. Bamji, the principal of our school, to make a special presentation to you, sir.
Mr. Holder, the man of the moment, I want to present this plaque to you in recognition of the life-changing investments which you have made and will continue to make in the lives of the St. Philip's Primary School and our community every year, including this day, Friday, 28th June, 2024. So on behalf of the principal, staff, and students of the St. Philip's Primary School, I want to present to you this certificate of appreciation. Mr. Holder is all about giving, and he thinks we're all about receiving, but we wouldn't have it that way at all. So we have in this beautiful package something that we believe will last forever. He can put it up in his office when he gets back to Washington, D.C. And whenever he looks at it, he's going to be thinking of all of the wonderful students and teachers and the principal of St. Philip's Primary School.
Thank you, Mrs. Bamji, and thank you, Mr. Holder. The time has come. There is no better time than now to invite the St. Philip's Primary School valedictorian for 2024 to give her valedictorian address. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage Miss Miracle Topping.
Mistress of Ceremonies, Mrs. Sharianne Holder-Hope. Representative of the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training, Mr. Samuel Maynard. President of the Diocese of Barbados Mothers Union, and featured speaker, Mrs. Joy Seeley. Social worker in the Ministry of Education and presenter of prizes, Miss Davian Phillips. Principal of St. Philip's Primary School, Mrs. Pamletta Bamji. Priest in charge of St. Philip Parish Church, the Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill. Old scholar and patron of the St. Philip Primary School, Mr. Selwin Holder. President of the Barbados Association of Southern California and patron of St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Gregory Chase. Principals past and present, distinguished guests, parents, guardians, ladies and gentlemen, fellow graduates, good morning. My fellow classmates, we did it. We are graduating from primary school. Can you believe it? We have come a long way since our first day in the class, when we were all a little nervous and maybe even a little scared. But look at us now. We've grown so much and learned even more. I am extremely overjoyed and honored to deliver this valedictory address today. On behalf of the class of 2024, I would like to thank you for gracing us with your presence at our graduation ceremony. 7+ years ago, my aunt took me to this noble institution where I was enrolled in the reception class. If you had seen me at that time, I appeared very shy and withdrawn, although I was rather ecstatic because I was starting a new chapter and trying to make new friends at this school. This was despite my starting school rather late. As the years progressed, I settled into my routine, realizing that it was not only play, but hard work and keen competition amongst my comrades, both in class and at sports. This meant developing a good attitude towards work, staff, and friends, so that we could all reach a higher standard, especially since we are designers of our destiny. Just as we have moved from these shy, crying, playful, tiny tots to playing with dough on our tables, so has our work moved from the alphabet to the more challenging work of the class fours. We could not have achieved this without the great attitude and devotion of the teaching staff and other supporters. The teachers of the infants, who gave us the foundation, and the teachers of the juniors, especially our class 4 teacher, who completed the task in furthering our development. As I look upon parents and guardians gathered here, I thank you for the encouragement and sound advice. Our path to reach our destiny will not always be easy, so we will count on your continued encouragement as we take our daily steps towards our goals. You were there for us in sports and exams as we started to shape our destiny. If some of us have not reached your expectations, remember to reach our destination is a journey, and we are still trying to navigate life's roads. So your patience and support will help to chart the path we need to take as designers of our destiny. I know that I will not be here without the support of one such special parent in my life. We may not be related by blood, but she has been loving and kind and has helped me to overcome a lot. Her love and support have been my foundation, which has brought me to where I am today. The path may not be straight or smooth, and some of us will stumble along and will have to try again. But always remember the word of God states, many plans are in a man's mind, but it is the Lord's purpose for him that will stand. I would like to take a moment to thank our teachers. 4 in particular come to mind: Mrs. Seeley, Mrs. Headley, Mrs. Alimard, and Mrs. Miller have all worked assiduously to guide us through our primary school journey. You have not only taught us academic lessons, you have included important life lessons too. You've taught us to be fair, kind, to work hard, and to never give up. You've shown us that learning can be fun and exciting. For all that and more, we are truly grateful. My colleagues have also asked me to express thanks to the non-teaching staff, the janitors, and the school meal servers who have looked after us. We know at times we made your work difficult, but thanks for your tolerance and patience with us. To my fellow graduates, we were privileged with the exposure of being prefects and senior prefects, which taught us about responsibility. We were engaged in line dancing, hype day, and other activities which required us to be disciplined and respectful. We attended a World Food Day presentation with Miss Marion Hart, who taught us how to skillfully use our local produce. Some of us even tried singing calypso at the Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre after being coached by our music teacher, Miss Maxwell. Oh yes, some of us can sing and dance too. When we look at our graduation's theme, Designers of Our Destiny, it simply means that the decisions we make now will determine what happens to us later in life. If we combine that with our school's motto, diligence brings success, you can be assured that we will proudly represent the St. Philip's Primary School. We must never forget the good qualities taught to us during assembly. We must live and breathe such qualities in our daily lives. Let's continue to be curious, to ask questions, and to seek knowledge. Let's be kind to one another and help each other out. And let's always strive to be the best we can be. I will conclude with a quote from a song, "The Future Begins with Us." It starts with you. It starts with me. It starts with us. You see, the future starts right here, right now. Beginning constantly, we can be the inspiration. We can hold the key. What we do affects tomorrow. It's our destiny. The future begins with us, and every moment we live lights the way. Oh yes, the future begins with us. This is our day. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow graduates, I thank you for your patience and your attention, and I now ask my colleagues to stand and give you a hearty round of applause. Congratulations, class of 2024.
Thank you very much, Miracle. Well done. Next, the graduates will perform for you the song entitled "The Journey." Graduates,
desert, through the deepest snow. Forward, always forward I go. What a journey it has been, and the end is not in sight. But the stars are out tonight, and they're bound to guide my way. When they're shining on my life, I can see a better day. I won't let the darkness in. What a journey it has been. Forward, always forward. Onward, always up. Catching every drop of hope in my empty cup. What a journey it has been, and the end is not in sight. But the stars are out tonight, and they're bound to guide my way. When they're shining on my life, I can see a better day. I won't let the darkness in. What a journey it has been. What a journey it has been.
All right, thank you very much, graduates. We now move on to some special presentations. These presentations will be done first by the principal, Mrs. Pameletta Bamji, and she will be followed by the senior teacher, Miss Anthea Maxwell. So, Mrs. Bamji. Calling first to the stage, Mr. Gregory Chase.
Mr. Chase, this certificate of appreciation is awarded to you from the principal, students, and staff of St. Philip's Primary School in recognition of the life-changing investments which you have made personally in the lives of our school. Thank you so very much, Mr. Chase. He wants me to see it. Don't move. Just move. Mr. Chase, as president of the Barbados Association of Southern California, it would be remiss of me to give you a certificate of appreciation and not to allow Miss June Small and Miss Peggy Codrington and all of the other hardworking members to recognize that that I love what they do for the pupils of St. Philip's Primary. So this certificate of appreciation is for the association, and I'm sure that you will hand it to them for me.
Respectfully and humbly receive on behalf of the board and the members of the association. Thank you very much.
Mr. Gregory Trace, we very much appreciate what you have been doing for us, and may God continue to richly bless you with life and health and strength as you continue to work for the beautiful children of St. Philip's Primary School. Thank you a million.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Look at that. She wanted it. Okay.
Oh, you finished? All right, good.
Thank you.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Oh, that's true.
Up next, we have Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill.
Reverend O'Neill, on behalf of the staff and pupils of St. Philip's Primary School, I want to present you with a token of our appreciation for the spiritual guidance that you have been given to us, not only this school year, but for many, many years ago. And we pray that God will continue to richly bless you with life and health and strength, that you will continue to give spiritual guidance to all of his children. Thanks so much, Reverend O'Neill.
We now have Miss Anthea Maxwell.
Ms. Maxwell, our senior teacher, I want to thank you so much for your hard work. Thank you for encouraging our children to sing calypso. Thank you for encouraging our children to develop their musical talents in every area. And thank you for a job well done. Thanks a million. Thank you.
We now have Mrs. Sonia Marshall Bushell.
This presentation goes to our nursery teacher, very creative, very talented lady who makes school life very, very interesting. Thank you so much, Mrs. Marshall Bushell, for all of your hard work.
Next, Mrs. Sherry Ann Holder Hope.
We've been giving her lots of work this morning. She's been doing lots of work for the entire school year, and we have to let her know how much we appreciate her service. Thank you so much, Mrs. Holder Hope. She ensures that your children have a great time at St. Philip's Primary, I can tell you that.
Next, we have Mrs. Wendy Stout.
Mrs. Wendy Stowe is the language arts coordinator for our school, and she works hard to ensure that your children follow the school's syllabus given to us by the Ministry of Education, and she is the one organizing Reading Week and ensuring that your child become an avid reader. Thank you so much, Mrs. Stout.
Next, Miss Jennifer Innes.
Miss Jennifer Innes is a parent volunteer in the nursery class. Jenny works hard every day, not only assisting in the education of our students, but she can be called upon to help organize any school event. And if you want the best tasting pudding sauce in Church Village, or the best fish cakes, or the best bottle of sorrel or passion fruit drink, Auntie Jenny is the person to go to. Thank you so much, Auntie Jenny. God bless you.
We now call the well-rested Mr. Jason Bino.
Mr. Jason Bino is our resident PE teacher who has not been resident of late. He has had the entire term off. He got his term's leave. That you get after putting in 15 years in the government service. So you can see how fresh and energetic he looks. But we are not going to forget how hard he works at St. Philip's Primary. And I can tell you that we sorely miss him this term. But we are welcoming him back in September. He's not getting away. So thank you so very much, Mr. Jason Bino. I can't even stand here to tell them all the wonderful things that you do for our school. Thanks a million. God bless you.
Next, Mr. Dominic Allen.
I can tell you that there are young people in Barbados that we can be proud of. For Mr. Allen is not what his country can do for him anymore. It is what he can do for his country. He is always volunteering, whether it's with the DEM or St. Philip's Primary School, helping out with our PE department. He does it all. You want someone to help look after class today and give them some lessons? Mr. Dominic Allen is the one for you. A very well-educated and talented young man. Thank you so much, Mr. Allen. The children love him, I can tell you that. Thank you for your service.
Up next, Mr. Adrian Archer.
I always encourage my students to give back. Adrian is not only a past student of St. Philip's Primary, but Adrian was my student when he was just in first form at secondary school. I was his form teacher. And I can find Adrian anytime. I can call on him at any point in time to help us to do anything that is needed at St. Philip's Primary. He's one of those persons, he knows exactly how much I love him when he was going to school. And he made sure that he shows that love to my children. All 9 of them right here in front of you. All right? So I want to say thank you, Adrian, for all of your assistance. And may God continue to richly bless you with health and strength.
We now have Miss Charmaine McConney.
And Charmaine McConney is one of our new schoolmate servers. But it seems as though she was there every long time since. That's what the old people would say. She loves my children. That is what I like about her. She loves my children, and she treats them very well. So I want to present this to you, Charmaine, for being so sweet and loving to my St. Philip's Primary School children and serving them their lunch with a smile every single day. Thank you, Charmaine.
The next person is Miss Shante Thomas. Unfortunately, she's not here, so Andrea Aline will accept on her behalf. She will also accept on behalf of Mr. Sean Thomas and Mrs. Evelyn Thomas.
Yes, now those three persons who are not here today, I'm sure I mentioned them in my speech. We have Mrs. Thomas, our janitor, hardworking. Her husband, Mr. Sean Thomas, and her daughter, they actually own St. Philip Primary School. They clean and work hard there every single day. I want to thank them in their absence for all they do to make our lives clean and comfortable. And we're going to ask Anne to accept these gifts on their behalf. This one is for Shante. This one is for Sean. This one is for Mrs. Evelyn Thomas. And this one is for Mrs. Evelyn Thomas. Thank you so very much, Anne. Thank you.
And the final person in this section, Miss Alicia Brown.
This young lady that you see here dressed so wonderfully today is our reception teacher, Miss Alicia Brown. She is extremely hardworking. I can tell you that is because of her hard work and Auntie Jenny's that we have a wonderful graduation today. She's always raising funds for our school. So I want to thank you for your hard work. But not only is she involved in raising funds, but she's an excellent teacher. You know, but she's had that class for 2 years now, and sorry parents, she's going to have to take another class next year. We know the parents have been asking. All right, thank you so much, Alicia. God bless.
All right. This section will now be handled by Miss Anthea Maxwell, our senior teacher. First up, Mrs. Pameletta Bamji.
Okay, good afternoon. So this is a token of appreciation for our hardworking principal, a very articulate principal, and a principal that loves all of her children. So we want to say thank you very much for all of your work.
Next is Mr. Don Knight.
For this section, I don't speak as much as Ms. Bamji, so I'm just going to tell you all of these gifts. We are very appreciative of the hard work that you do at the school, and we appreciate it extremely much. So this is just a token of appreciation.
Mrs. Andrea Brown. Mrs. Carol Ann Gill. Mrs. Tracy Wooding. Miss Paula Thorne. Mrs. Andrea Aline. Okay. Miss Rena Pollard. Miss Katrina Burke is not here, so Miss Brown will take her gift on her behalf. Next, Mrs. Lolita Sandiford. Next, we have Miss Shalia Marshall. Miss Shania Mapp is not here, so again, Miss Brown will accept on her behalf. Finally, Miss Melissa Batson Johnson, who is also not here, and the principal will come and accept on her behalf.
I proudly accept this gift on behalf of my hard-working clerk typist who had 2 graduations today and she wasn't scheduled for St. Philip. How sad. But she'll have it on Monday. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Mrs. Bamji, Miss Maxwell, Mrs. Wooding, and Miss Brown. Once again, it is time for the graduates to perform. The students will be signing the words to the song, The Climb. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the graduates of the St. Philip's Primary School 2024 for their final performance.
I can almost see it, that dream I'm dreaming, but there's a voice inside my head saying you'll never reach it. Every step I'm taking, every move I make feels lost with no direction. My faith is shaking, but I gotta keep trying. Gotta keep my head held high. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. It ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. The struggles I'm facing, the chances I'm taking, sometimes might knock me down, but no, I'm not breaking. I may not know it, but these are the moments that I'm gonna remember most. Yeah, just gotta keep going, and I gotta be strong. Just keep pushing on, 'cause there's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle, and sometimes I'm gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. There's always gonna be another mountain. I'm always gonna wanna make it move. Always gonna be an uphill battle. Sometimes you're gonna have to lose. Ain't about how fast I get there. Ain't about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb.
Don't move, don't move. Go back there, go back. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the graduates of St. Philip's Primary School 2024. Well done. Thank you very much. Next, Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill will pray for the graduates.
I know the day is far spent, and I just don't want us to forget two important things. One, praying to God, God's presence, and two, our young people, our children. At times we are called, even in our busiest time, to stop and just pay some attention and give them an ear, give them our attention so that they understand how important they are to us. I'm going to ask the graduates to stand as I pray with them at this time. Congratulations to all of you. Remember that God loves you, that He has called you to be with Him and to live your lives for Him. And as you move on in your life, in this journey, moving away from your primary school and entering the second stage in secondary education, do remember that God will travel with you, that you have a responsibility to express your lives with God. Remember that you are designers of your destiny, that your destiny of life with God, wherever that carries you, you are responsible in your design in it. You can listen to others, you can listen to those that are important, or you can listen to those that are not important. But we pray that you will listen to God's Spirit that guides you. You will listen to your parents. You will listen to those who are what we call the significant others in your lives, those who wish you the best. And in designing your destiny, your future, you will set your goals. You will believe in yourself. You will be confident. You will avoid distractions and stay focused. You will set examples for others to follow. But most of all, you will demonstrate a faith in the God who calls you and walking with you to your destiny. May that destiny be bright and successful. And so, Heavenly Father, we lift before you this class, this graduating class of 2024 here at the St. Philip's Primary. Look upon each and every one of them, O God. Reassure them of your presence in their lives. Surround them with your grace. Bless them with hope so that they move into the future with eager and open hearts. Help them to put the knowledge, the skills, the insight gained through their education here at the St. Philip's Primary for the good not just of themselves, but for all humanity. Inspire them, O God, to believe in the goodness of life, even when faced with challenges and difficulties. As they commence their lives and going forward in this journey into secondary education, may they grow even more grateful and appreciative of what you have given them in your Son, Jesus Christ. Protect them, O Heavenly Father. Guide them, strengthen them, keep them, give them that love and that assurance that despite whatever they may face, they have life with you in Christ Jesus. And so we lift them before you for your blessing and your guidance, that they may continue on this successful path that they have started and continue here at the St. Philip's Parish Church, Primary School, keeping them in this life. And unto God's gracious mercy and loving protection do we now commit you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up the light of his countenance upon you and give you his peace this day and forevermore. Amen. Please be seated.
Thank you very much, Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill. I have an announcement for the parents. When the graduation is over, please go to the room with your children to take family photos. The time now has come to give thanks. Please welcome to center stage Mrs. Andrea Brown, to give the vote of thanks.
Master of Ceremonies, Mrs. Sherry Ann Holder Hope, retired Senior Tax Inspector of the Inland Revenue Department, President of the Diocese of the Barbados Mothers Union, and guest speaker for this morning's event, Mrs. Joyce Seeley, social worker with the Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training, and presenter of prizes to our graduating class, Ms. Davian Phillips, Principal of St. Philip's Primary School, Mrs. Pameletta Bamji, Education Officer from the Ministry of Education, Technological and Vocational Training with responsibility for St. Philip's Primary, Mr. Samuel Maynard, Priest in charge of St. Philip's Parish Church, the Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill, Old Scholar and Patron of St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Selwin Holder, President of the Barbados Association of Southern California and patron of the St. Philip's Primary School, Mr. Gregory Chase, principals past and present, members of the teaching and ancillary staff of St. Philip's Primary School, students of the graduating class, parents, guardians, specially invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. James Allen says, no duty is more urgent than giving thanks. And it is my duty and pleasure this morning to offer thanks on behalf of the management and staff of the St. Philip's Primary School. First, let me begin by thanking our specially invited guests, Mrs. Joyce Seeley, our featured speaker, Ms. Davian Phillips, our presenter of prizes, Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill, Mr. Selwin Holder, and Mr. Gregory Chase. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to be here with us. Reverend O'Neill, thank you for your prayers, which set the tone for this ceremony. Mrs. Seeley, we greatly appreciate your words of advice for our graduates at this important time of transition in their life. You gave them practical advice and reminded them of the gift that is their youth and the wealth of promise and possibility within them. I know that they will use your words of wisdom as they go forward to design their destiny. Ms. Phillips, please accept our gratitude for how well you have performed your function as the presenter of prizes for the graduating class. Mr. Gregory Chase, thank you for your kind words and unswerving support of the St. Philip Primary School. Mr. Selwin Holder, thank you for your generosity towards the school and the graduating class and the wider school of St. Philip's Primary. I just wanted to say that your wise words and your example are an inspiration to us all. When one has climbed the ladder of success, you have demonstrated that one needs to reach behind to help pull up others and not knock it down like some others do. Now, a graduation ceremony is like a dance with many performers, each working in concert to make a whole that is greater than the sum of its parts. The production that you saw here today is only the tip of the iceberg for all the effort that went into making this day possible. I would like to thank the members of the graduating committee who were responsible for the planning, the shopping, the packing of prizes, the setup, and the decoration. I would also like to express my thanks for those on the fundraising committee who worked in tandem with the graduating committee to raise the funds needed for our graduates. Many thanks to Ms. Maxwell and Ms. Miller for today's entertainment package. We know that many hours of practice went into the preparation of today's ceremony. We would also like to acknowledge the contribution of Dr. Darren Brown, who produced this year's video of the graduating class. I would like to also express my appreciation for Mrs. Holder Hope For her work as the Master of Ceremonies, she has kept our program running smoothly. We would like to recognize those who were not always on the ground with the shopping and the packing, but who contributed materially to our graduation, including Mr. Selwin Holder, the St. Philip Parish Church, Reverend Canon Trevor O'Neill and Mrs. O'Neill, Mr. Quinton St. Hill, Mrs. Gloria Bryan, Mrs. Joyce Seeley, Mrs. Marjorie Ward, Mr. Adrian Archer, and the Lions Club of Barbados East. We would not have been able to have held this lovely graduation ceremony without you. Thanks to the teaching staff, past and present, who have shepherded the graduating class over the years, and a special thanks to Mrs. Miller, who worked with them through the last 2 years. Parents, thank you for entrusting your children to us. We appreciate the faith that you have placed in all of us at St. Philip's Primary School to help guide your child through their first steps of their school career. We ask that you place this faith in the schools that your child will enter in September and play an active part in their school life. Now, if I have neglected to mention anyone who has contributed in any way to the success of the graduating class and this graduation, please accept my sincere apologies and know that your contribution was greatly appreciated and it was just a failure of memory. Graduands, I reserve my last words for you. This ceremony is a celebration of your journey and your achievements over the entirety of your primary school life, but particularly the hard work and sacrifice of the past 2 years. Thank you for your hours that you spent on practice papers and study. I hope that you are proud of your results, but please remember that these are merely your first steps. You are only just starting to design your future. Remember to dream big, work hard, and keep reaching for the stars. Thank you.